Introduction. The process of separation from stupidity and its representatives. A notable representative being myself. I've been a proud representative of stupidity. Yes, I have personally explored almost all the types of silliness that are listed and the ones which are not listed in the behavioral catalog of humankind. Unlisted because some of them are my very own creation. And I have practiced these forms of stupidity for years, without having a doubt that it was the only role I was fitted for. Being a plastic marionette, not even a wooden one, living at the mercy of my own, were they my own? I doubt it. Badly managed, unhappily inherited emotions. So they were not my own, they were inherited, period. And I have to tell you, it was a very difficult task, because one needs serious determination and stubbornness to be able to hold on to the wrong way in life for so long, actually for a lifetime, and to crown it all, to encourage the friends and heirs to follow the same wrong line. Can you imagine what kind of determination I had? I really hate the fact that I left this legacy. I would have preferred to keep all the emotional wastage with me. How guilty am I wonder, for leaving this troubled legacy for my kids? How are they gonna be able to handle it? My mother says they're gonna handle it okay. I hope she's right. I wanted to put inside my kids the best that was in me and their father. But I couldn't. The genes selection was out of my control. Yet, I feel now that I could have done way better than I actually did. Am I a lousy parent? A loser? I don't know. There are countless types of stupidity in this world. One of them is to give up your dignity and pride as a woman. And I never even knew how it is to have that pride. I never even knew how it feels to have that dignity until I met my mother. My actual mother, my present mother, I mean. Boy, I had so many mothers. But only my present mother has encouraged me to discover and express my dignity and to be happy and proud that I'm a woman. So for that, I love her very much. So, giving up dignity, the dignity of a woman, for a ghostly, deceptive relationship that meant only sacrifice, that was my lesson. And how easy it is to denude the act of sacrifice and turn its role of soul-healing prodigy into death and mockery. How easy it is. I've been dead. I was living, but I was not being alive. I allowed the blackness and the ghosts inside the deepest corners and swirled parts of my soul. No wonder that the purifying process takes so long. And I was sinking deeper and deeper every day, and I was not even aware of it, because my natural ability of receiving and understanding the feedback of my action was damaged. I needed a miracle to get out of the vortex I was in. A miracle and courage. A miracle from God and courage from Him also. Well, that was an ironic reward for me, because I defied Him for years. I never understood Him, never listened to Him, and traded my natural faith in Him for a man. Well, for what I thought of being a man. I came to know he was not afterwards. Never mind. I even put my father I mean the love for my father above God. I put above God everything that I loved. But not intentionally. I didn't know better. Please, God, forgive me for that. It is only now that I realize I was teaching other people how to think correctly, and I was doing the exact opposite of my teachings. The truth was that I was desperately trying to create a meaning for my existence, a meaning that would have made me acceptable and lovable to the deaf man around me. Yes, you heard me right. Deaf man. You will see who I'm talking about later. Some say, God is up there, a million miles away. He doesn't hear us. Come on. What other bigger, more hideous lie could possibly exist? I fought tooth and nail to make myself loved and accepted by my family. They rejected me since the very day I was born, and that crazy and useless fight distorted my behavior and caused damage also to other people who were coming to me for counseling. Unwillingly, I distorted the information I was giving them, so my advice was not 100% in their benefit. And in the process of time, my desperation was growing exponentially, because I realized that the people who were coming to me for counseling were not coming to me just by accident. They were inspired. They were given the intuition to come to me. And the intuition was coming from up there, of course. The intuition to come to me and look for help, so God can help them through me, like He does with everybody else. He works through people. And as long as I was a defective and an unimprovable channel, caught in the trap of my human lowness, I wasn't fit for the energy of God to come flowing down through me. So what kind of a counselor I was? Well, what she said was true, but she saved me and many others. Sorry to intrude, okay? Tens, maybe hundreds of people to whom she offered life-turning advice. God saved those people through her, in spite of her saying that she's been defective channel. Nobody's perfect, and Marie, she always meant well and always put her faith and hope in God. Please, God, help her forget about these toxic thoughts. Sorry to interfere like that. Carry on, my dear. Well, that was my mom. Thanks, Mom. Okay. Please, God, forgive me. I never meant any harm. There was just... It's terrible, you know. There was nobody to tell me how to handle my life, my talents. I was in an environment where on one hand people were coming to me looking for counseling, and on the other hand I was desperately trying to get my family's approval on the way that I was living my life. And guess what? I never got any approval, because they never wanted me and never understood me. For them, for my natural mother even, I was only somebody born by accident, that they got stuck with as a lifelong punishment for a non-protected intercourse. Wow, what a long phrase for such a... Never mind. And now I wonder, what if, because of all my faults, I harmed people instead of helping them? What if I tried to mend other people with my human part, which was damaged, not only faulty, damaged, when instead I only had to work on getting my own self on the right track? This is another type of critical stupidity and negligence of human beings. They all try to fix other people's faults instead of fixing themselves. The short and narrow loop of feedback is my personal term for the Bible phrase, whatever you do to other people, you do to yourself. This term is applicable only when a person is complete, in at least one area of life, at least one. When your inner self is chaotic, you generate chaos, nothing else. Me, I was too tolerant with other people and unforgiving with my own self. So unforgiving, actually, that I was completely unable to see how good I really was, and I was totally incapable to give myself a chance to relaxation and happiness. The very few people who really loved me, very few, they tried in vain to give me this chance. Why they tried in vain? Because I was the one who was supposed to accept this chance, to allow it in my life so it can get materialized in the real world. And I couldn't do that. I didn't. No, I didn't think so high of myself. I didn't think I deserved that chance. My path to the point of recognizing my own personal value, of accepting myself as a whole of human and divine, good and bad, my whole in all, has only just begun. My eyes got open, and I feel the turbidity, like the turbidity of a water that begins to clear. Something that was very filthy, and unclear, and now it's starting to clear up. Well, after all, a human being is 90% made of water, so the comparison is not so out of line. So this is how I feel right now. To put a human being before God means to place yourself, or to function as an organism, or to influence the world and to give energy on the unlimited minus side of life. I was meaning well, but I was trying to do well by using negative tools. I didn't know any better. I was born on the minus side of life. I went to studies on the minus side of life. I lived all my life on the minus side. It's hard to shine out in the dark when you are haunted by monsters who bite you. God, I've been bitten so bad. To keep myself on the ascending side of life, on the positive one, creative one. I told you it's very difficult to define it. You will understand what I mean in the process of listening. The law of gravity should have functioned just the reverse, to keep me from totally going down. I was placing myself on the extreme opposite to creation and God, and the more I was praying, the bigger my attachment to my problems, to my own minus. Therefore, I was attracting disease and death. But it took me 45 years to understand all this. It took me 45 years to understand the real meaning of my dual nature, divine and human. The more I was trying to reach the plus side of life, to purify myself, so much the more I was pulling myself down. Just remember, nobody does any harm to us. We do it. All of it. And whatever we cannot do to ourselves, consciously or subconsciously, we attract. Somehow we get hold of so to speak, what we think we need, from the minus side or from the ascending side of life. Either of the two. Now, after all I've been through, it's very difficult and it's early to conclude how much or little have I healed of being stupid. Well, as I understand the meaning of being stupid. But I know for sure that, ironically, the paralysis has cleared up my confusion. When you have to manage a single body, the energetic one, instead of two, energetic and physical, you don't need to concern yourself with harmonizing them, and you're not anymore interested in putting up a proud performance in front of the others. Therefore, you earn the privilege of looking after yourself only, while being in a state of inward peace like you never knew before. At least I never knew before. And this state has been going on for quite some time in my case. Well, it actually went on just as long as I needed to resolve my problems. So, during my own process of clearing up my confusion, the plus inside of me has clearly sorted out from the minus inside of me. So I am no longer a mixture of good and bad. Now, each one of them occupies a clearly defined space inside my conscience, and I am constantly aware of both of them and of the information that goes in and out of each part. How's that? That's a great sensation. It's a great feeling. Well, sometimes it's scary, but it's a great feeling. Actually, it's amazing how enlightening the conscious perception of these two parts is. It's also amazing how different my perceptions and my mother's perceptions about healing are. Now, here's what I suggest you to do so you can benefit to the maximum from my battle-tried soul's experience. Like I said before, my biggest wish is for you to learn from me and to become more aware and more awake in everyday's life, stronger and more able to handle yourselves the way you want and not allowing other people to handle you. In other terms, I really will be very happy if after reading my book you will be able to do whatever you want with your life instead of life doing whatever it wants of you.